Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge, and today we're going to be talking insurance claims. If you're an owner-operator, you want to make sure you're listening to this. Did you know that vehicle incidents and claims are going through the roof right now, and that the average claim that has an injured person in it is $150,000? That's just a claim with an injured person. If there's a fatality, you're looking at $5 to $7 million. If you're an owner-operator, those numbers should be scaring you right now. And if you're wondering who is the biggest culprits, well, if you're out in Alberta, they kind of lead number one. Ontario comes in at number two. Atlantic provinces are number three. I don't know about the U.S., but you know that they're up there anyway. And it's driver, cargo type, and area traveled are the three things that you need to consider when you're doing insurance. But what do? You probably have it. Do you have enough? Do you have the right kind? And what happens when there is an incident and you don't know what to do? We're going to talk about all of that as we get going here. But all right, let's get into this. So what happened here is I was recently at the Fleet Safety Council seminar. They have one every year. I'm part of the Hamilton chapter. We hold a seminar. It's kind of an open. It's kind of like a mini conference for half a day. And this year it was about insurance. The last couple of years have been about insurance because it's such a hot topic. There are a lot of insurance people in the room. There's also a lot of safety people in the room. And then there's me. Well, I'm there. Someone's got to cover this, right? So anyway, I was there and they were talking insurance. This is a 4-hour event. They talked all about insurance. We're not playing the whole event. If you want to see how the event worked, go check out the recap that came out in previous episode around 1398, I think it was, but or 1397. But we're going to be talking about today, and I'm going to give you some tips. I'm not going to give you the tips. I'm going to give you some tips from the insurance panel. And the insurance panel had Jacqueline Caceres, if I said her name right. She's with Brownstone Insurance Managers. Scott Kober, he's with BFL Canada, and David Gorick, which is with Northbridge Insurance. All three are really strong insurance companies here in the trucking industry in Canada, and these people all have years and years of experience and knowledge underneath them. So you're going to get the right information here. And today we're talking about claims. They did a lot of different stuff for this operation, but today we're going to talk about claims and how that affects you as an owner-operator and what you should be looking for and what happens when you get a claim. So let's go on with the seminar here and get that going.
So now we've talked about the frequency of it. So I got a question for you, Scott. I'm only going to use this for long-haul trucking. To the bus people out there, I respect you, but unfortunately, we got to talk about these cargo sometime. So I'm in my truck and I'm driving and I get in an accident. There is a third party, but no one's injured. I'm just, it's during my day. What are your thoughts on reporting versus not reporting?
Yeah, thanks. Is it Rob or Robert, do you prefer?
Do not say a word, Shorty. You call me Rob.
So I have got it right for the years. So, for the sake that there's a camera on me, then legally by statutory, the policy wording, you have to report all claims. Mm-hmm. But we just know that's not always the case in the industry. So to your example, I think it was single vehicle, motor truck cargo. Yeah, that needs to be looked at and reported at least as an incident because it may be under your retention. So for sure, I think there's got to be a documented process. Did you report it to the broker? Who reported it to the TPA or I independent adjuster? What is that process? So I'm going to say, yeah, you got to report the claim with an asterisk, quotation, whatever you want to call it. I do want to make a point what was made. Preparation is key. Like this is huge, and drivers panic. And I like the thought of the mock going through something that happens, and I'm old enough to recall those cameras, and you get the film developed and you got 10 pictures and 3 family barbecue pictures on them. Like it doesn't show well if the driver's not trained there. But I would say the last 5 years, one thing we've learned, and BFL's done a few seminars and scared the pants off the crowd with lawyers, is maybe don't say anything. Have the driver not over talk because they're anxious. And there's been claims examples of them caught on hot mics. There's been claims of the police body cam catching the audio of them talking to dispatch and admitting things, and you're just looking for trouble there. But unless the driver hasn't gone through it or understand it, and maybe just call dispatch and let them handle the next aspect of it. But certainly that's really where it comes down to, and it'll make or break that claim. And that fender bender, yeah, just because no one got injured doesn't mean in 48 hours they're not looking up the billboard for Celino and Barnes, and people are just, looking for payouts here. I guess the Barnes Group is not called that anymore. But huge, and yeah, to answer your question, at least report it to the broker, and then have that conversation to what you have, because it will bite you in the tail of it coming back weeks or months later.
Yeah, sorry, can I just add one thing to that? So you have a statutory obligation under your automobile policy to report claims timely, in a timely manner. So that can be, I would say for sure, call your broker as a first call. When I work with my captive clients, they're in a self-insured program. So I say, call me, call my team, because we're gonna be able to mitigate that with you. There's so much that you don't understand that you're not thinking of. You're worrying about your physical vehicle, your driver, your load that has to be delivered. We're thinking about jurisdiction. What's the laws in that jurisdiction? The litigation climate. Like, there's all sorts of other aspects we're thinking about, your coverage and things that you're maybe not. So call your broker at a minimum. But if you have a third party involved, like if you have another human person, you should be reporting that claim to your insurance company. Because really, gone are the days that you just get in a fender bender somebody, you pay them for their bumper and you walk away. That just is not happening anymore, right? Especially in Ontario, used to be, you had more of the quote unquote legitimate litigation claims in Ontario. Now, it's very much like the United States in terms of litigiousness. They're gonna sue you. And when your insurance company gets a claim after 2 years and they have nothing, they don't have a picture, they don't have a driver's statement, the driver's moved to a different country, they're gone now. How are we supposed to help you? And then you're mad at the insurance company when your rates go up because they had to pay a big on a claim that they had nothing on, they couldn't investigate. Right? So like, help us help you is how I would, Jerry Maguire styles, right? We can't help you if we don't know.
All right, there you go. That was a great conversation and panel discussion there. Hopefully you got some good tidbits out of that. All right, here we go.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.